Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to use a simple way to create a little garden like this, or you can call this as a 3D album. Okay, let's take a closer look. Oh, and today's video is totally amateur friendly, so even if your crafting experience is stuck back in kindergarten, that's all fine. Okay, so there are some stuff that we need to prepare first. First of all, PVC foam board. It has a fancy name, but please don't get scared by it. Well, it's actually a regular material to make miniature model. So if you want to send your creation as a gift or simply as a decoration showing off to your friend, then I suggest you to use foam board. You also need a cutter to cut foam board. And for the glue, I usually use glue called UHU. It's like a master key. You can literally glue anything with it. I even fix up my chair with it. And for pigment, I usually use acrylic because it got a great color payoff and it's waterproof. So for the grainy part, the first thing we need to prepare is some cheap fake plants, green sponges to make shrub. And then when you prepare some grass powder. And also you can prepare a little line like this. Next up, we need some paper straw. Finally, grab anything lying around you, including tissues or just using your fingernail. So that's all we need. Let's dive into the first step. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is we need to sketch out the garden arch on the foam board, and then we need to use cutter to cut it out. Next up, we need another identical arch piece to make the bricks. Now onto the base, grab the arch base and score it with the cutter for texture. You can get fancy with tools or keep it savage with your fingernails for a bit of depth. Glue the two arch pieces together and score the brick lines. Now, moving on to the columns. Cut 5 paper straws to the same length, glue them together, and put a square piece on the top. Stick them to the arch, and then you got yourself an archway. Alright, let's quickly mix up some gray paint for the base coat. Then mix up a darker shade for the shadow and a lighter one for the highlight. Here's my special trick. If you want to achieve a better look without using plaster or clay, just grab a piece of tissue. Well, it's better to use toilet paper. Dab some color, and the bits that fall off will give it that worn out effect. And also it's better to start with shading before adding highlights when you are coloring. Now onto the garden courtyard and steps. Cut them out, score the bricks, color them up with tissue. Just doing step by step. So once we got our 3 pieces ready, stick them together, and there you have it, a Gothic style little garden. Alright, so we already conquered the most difficult part. Let's move on to the fun part. Now let's grab some grass powder. Just be careful, don't sneeze in front of it. Okay, now let's brush some white latex paint on the steps. Let's move on. sprinkle some grass powder on white latex. Next, cut some fake plants and tape them on the back of the arch. I usually just grab some basic fake plants and customize their colors with paint, to save a few bucks. Okay, here comes my favorite part. Let's see how we can create realistic wood grain effects using foam board. It's actually super easy. Just curve out the wood texture with a cutter. And then add some gradual shades of brown. Use the same technique to make a frame. And then stick the frame onto the little garden we made earlier. Now let's work on the background for the sides of the courtyard. If you want to create a shrub effect, you can use green sponge. Little tip, you can start by brushing a layer of green as a base coat on the background, so the gaps between the sponges won't stand out too much. Once you've replicated the matching background, you can stick them together. Repeat the same process for the background on the back sides of the garden and the remaining parts of the frame, and then we'll be ready for the assembling. Before we start, you might have noticed two holes at the top. Those are for the mini lights. Also, I went with transparent PVC sheets to cover the top. It's the same stuff they use to wrap desserts and fruits, so no need to purchase it specifically. Just snip out some for your daily packaging. Alright, all set up and get assembling. Okay, so that's all for today's video. If you like my video, please remember to subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you guys. See you next week. Bye.